New OEM mirror covers for the Santa Cruz. I've decided to replace the carbon fiber caps that I put on. And here's the process. Well, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive MT. That's right, I am going to put new mirror caps. These are OEM mirror caps, or covers I guess, not really caps, on my Santa Cruz. Now, a little while back, if you saw, I did put some carbon fiber caps on the Santa Cruz. I'll show you those. And I had debated whether or not I was going to leave them on because I really wanted something more OEM, I guess, and something that fit more seamlessly on the truck. So what I've got out here are the carbon fiber version. You guys can see right here, and there's nothing wrong with those. I mean, they add a little bit of flair to the truck, that's for sure, and I really do like them. But I decided I was going to go with an OEM cap, something black, and try to match up with the rest of the black accenting I have on the truck, like the Santa Cruz lettering in the back, and soon to be a black exhaust tip anyway down there on the bottom. So we'll be doing that later. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. It's really going to be pretty simple. But the process for doing this, I did go ahead and order OEM caps or covers. I keep saying caps. They actually refer to them as covers. I went to the parts department at my local Hyundai dealer and picked them up. And I'll show you the part number here. Let's see. This is actually what they are. You can see the part number or part information right there. You want to make sure that you get a left and a right, of course, because it's the same part number, I believe, regardless of whether it's left or right. So make sure that you do that. I will show you there is a second number here. And again, I think it's the same, but just verify. This does say left hand on it, though. I can see that right here. So if we go back to the other one, it actually does not say anything. So again, just make sure, but that'll give you the part numbers in case you're interested in doing this. Now, the process. They actually came a kind of a white or off-white color, really more of a beige or tan, unfinished. So obviously you have to paint them. Now, painting is really not that difficult as long as you're patient and take your time. I've gotten a little better at it myself the more that I've done it. You could have a body shop or somebody paint them, but you're probably going to pay, I guess, anywhere between $150 and maybe $400 to have a body shop do what I'm doing right here. So the process is pretty simple. You have the raw part, if you will. Sand that off real quick with I believe they call it a red Scotch-Brite pad. It's kind of a purple pad. Show you what it looks like right up here. This is what it looks like. I call it purple. I think they actually call it red. But either way, it's the purple colored one that you want. And that's just to rough it up a little bit to give the paint something to kind of grab onto. Put some little micro scratches in it. Nothing that you'll see when you paint it. After you do that, clean it off with some rubbing alcohol. Swipe it all down. I would wear some plastic or rubber gloves just so that you don't get the oils from your skin on it, because that's what you're trying to clean off. Again, so that you get the best opportunity for adhesion of the paint. After that's done, simply hang them up somewhere. You can see I'm using a camera tripod and some PVC pipe just to get them up in the air so I can get the angles I need to get. Not difficult to do. Then you want to hit it with some primer. I'm actually using a 2000 degree engine primer. Any primer is fine. 3 coats, let it sit for an hour so that it dries. After that, you want to go ahead and hit it with whatever color you're using. I'm going to use a gloss black because that's the look that I want. Same thing with this. You want to hit it with 3 coats, allowing, by the way, 5 minutes in between each coat, even with the primer. Any of the coats that you put on, you want to allow 5 to 6, 7 minutes to dry before you do the next coat. So 3 coats of primer, let it sit for an hour to dry. then 3 coats of paint, 5 to 6, 7 minutes in between each. Let it sit for an hour to dry. And then you want to hit it with a clear coat. I'm just using, this is kind of an OEM or professional type clear coat, if you will. Comes from a company called Touch Up Express, you can see on there. Same procedure. You want 3 coats with 5 to 6, 7 minutes in between to dry. And then leave it sit. And this is the most difficult part for me. This is where I think I'd always made my mistakes in the past, as well as not letting it dry enough in between each different product, if you will. And that is letting it finish, let it cure, let it sit. I'm gonna leave these sit for probably a couple of weeks. I wanna make sure that they're nice and dry and there's no opportunity to mess them up. You know, I did something before. I painted something, I think it was a hitch or something I painted. And then I went and touched it and it wasn't dry enough, and I actually left fingerprints from my fingerprints in the paint itself because it was still so soft. It hadn't developed that hard coat or shell, if you will, because I didn't let it dry long enough. Now, another tip for you, depending on where you live, I would put them in the house where it's nice and cool, air conditioned. You know, somewhere where the humidity is low. Out where I live, it's humid here every day. It's really hot, and that will just lengthen the time that it takes to dry. And if you're impatient like me, you don't want that to happen. Now, hopefully, once I'm all done, I'll have a nice crisp shell, if you will, via the clear coat on top of the part, and it should be fine. One other thing I want to caution you on, when you're putting something like these on, mirror caps, they're going to flex a little bit, or you could flex them a little bit. You want to make sure that you don't go crazy and do a lot of bending of the parts, because if you do that, you could actually crack the paint. Get a little hairline crack or something, and then, of course, in bright sunlight, you're going to be able to see that. There'd be nothing worse than having the whole part done. It looks perfect. And then you go to install it, bend the parts, manipulate them around, and then they crack. That would be a drag. So that's what I'm doing. Once all is said and done, there will be an install video on the channel. The only thing that concerns me about this is there are 2 holes up here, and it almost looks like those are screw holes. And if they are, then that means I have to take something else off of the existing mirror to be able to access those holes from the back, because obviously you cannot see them from the front. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be interesting. There is a little bit of prying that needs to be done. Let me show you the back of these. You can see the clips and things where they go, where everything kind of clips it to the holes that'll be on the mirror housing themselves. They're all over the place. You have to be careful, obviously, in taking the original off. I don't want to ruin the original, so I'll have a little bit of patience when I do that. But I will say, when I put the caps on, the carbon fiber or faux carbon fiber caps, when I was adjusting them, I had to pull one off a little bit, and it has adhesive. And this part of the mirror cap, the original, actually pulled out. That's what kind of kicked me into high gear to do this, because I saw a way to do it. I've not seen anybody else do this on the web, so I don't have anything to go by. It's going to be really my experience from doing it on other trucks, like the Toyota Tacoma, where I have replaced these before. Not on this truck, but on a different one. Anyway, that is my project. I am putting new mirror covers on the Hyundai Santa Cruz, painting these. They should look pretty cool. They will be in black. Leave a comment. Let me know. Something you'd be interested in, or you're happy with what you have. I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about the Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive JT, all about Jeep Gladiator, with a little bit of Jeep Wrangler thrown in. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.